Most rescues in the water end the same way. Someone reaches out. Someone is pulled back. But these recordings don't follow that pattern. They begin like normal rescues and turn into something else. In this video, you'll see real clips from rivers, lakes, and open water. Moments when people tried to help and realized too late that something was wrong. The cases are ordered from the least disturbing to the most shocking and unexplained. Stay until the end, because the final clip isn't just terrifying. It changes how you look at what's waiting beneath the surface. Number 15. At first glance, this looks like a familiar scene. A riverbank, bystanders watching, a figure struggling in the water. According to the description attached to the footage, a young girl slipped into the river and began to sink. What follows is captured from a distance, with no narration, no dramatic music, just raw movement. A man on the shore reacts instantly. He doesn't hesitate. He jumps straight into the water and swims toward the struggling figure. For several seconds, everything looks normal, urgent but explainable. A human rescue unfolding in real time. But viewers who slowed the footage down noticed something unsettling. The movements in the water don't fully match a panicked child. The way the body twists, the resistance, the brief moment where the shape seems off. There is no confirmation of anything anomalous. No official report suggesting anything inhuman. Skeptics point to water distortion, camera compression, and panic-induced misinterpretation. Still, the clip remains unsettling, because even in a routine rescue, something about what's seen beneath the surface doesn't sit right. Number 14. This footage comes from Kathmandu, Nepal, after heavy rainfall caused rivers to rise without warning. A small car is seen being dragged sideways by the current. At first, it looks empty. Then the camera zooms in. Inside the vehicle, a woman is still alive. The river, identified as the Bishnumati, moves fast and unpredictably. Bystanders shout. No one enters the water immediately. The current is strong enough to pull the car at any moment. When rescuers finally reach the vehicle, the situation becomes more chaotic. The woman resists being pulled out, not because she doesn't want help, but because the force of the water keeps twisting her body against the door frame. From certain angles, her movements look unnatural, almost mechanical. Her arms appear to bend the wrong way as the current yanks her downward. There is no mystery here, according to authorities. No strange creature, no unknown presence, just a human body reacting to extreme hydraulic force. But the clip unsettles viewers because water changes how motion looks. Limbs distort, timing breaks. And in moments like this, even a real rescue can resemble something else entirely. Number 13. This clip was shared by Chinese state media and shows a river rescue that unfolds in seconds. A young man slips into the water near a crowded riverbank. At first, no one reacts. The current is stronger than it looks. The man struggles, drifting farther from shore. People shout, but they keep their distance. Then one bystander does something unexpected. Without equipment, without a rope, he jumps. From above the waterline, the rescue seems straightforward. Two human figures, one reaching, one pulling. But when the camera angle changes, the scene becomes harder to read. The man in the water doesn't thrash like someone panicking. His body stays oddly rigid as he's dragged downstream. For a moment, it looks less like a person fighting the current, and more like something being carried by it. There is no mystery in the official explanation. No reports of anything abnormal, just a fast river and a delayed reaction. Still, viewers fixate on those few seconds in the water, when the body's shape, movement, and stillness feel disturbingly wrong. Number 12. This footage comes from China and was shared by state media without commentary or background music. A river runs quietly through an urban area. At first, nothing seems wrong. Then a figure is spotted in the water, not waving, not shouting, just drifting. What stands out immediately is the stillness. The person doesn't move like someone fighting to stay afloat. Their body remains strangely passive as the current carries it forward. A river cleaner notices the figure and reacts. He jumps in without hesitation and swims toward it. From the surface, it looks like a standard rescue. Two people, one pulling the other toward shore. But as the rescuer grabs hold, the body briefly rolls in the water. For a split second, its posture looks wrong, too loose, almost lifeless. Authorities later confirmed this was a human rescue. No mystery, no unexplained elements. The person was unconscious, not resisting, not moving on their own. Still, the clip unsettles viewers for one reason. In water, the line between a living body and an object can blur. And in those few silent seconds, what's being pulled from the river doesn't look human at all. Number 11. This footage comes from Florida and was released by local authorities along with body camera video. A child had been reported missing. The search had already gone on longer than expected. The deputy moves through tall grass near a retention pond. The water is dark, still, easy to overlook. Then he sees something. At first, it doesn't register as a person, just a shape near the surface, unmoving. When the camera gets closer, the reality becomes clear. A child is in the water, barely conscious, not crying, not calling out. The deputy enters the pond immediately and pulls the child free. Later reports confirm the child survived. There was nothing mysterious about what happened. But what unsettles viewers is the moment before the rescue, the way the body floats low in the water, the silence, the stillness. For several seconds, it's impossible to tell whether what's being seen is alive or already too late. Number 10. This clip was released during severe flooding in Houston, Texas. Entire neighborhoods were underwater. Streets had turned into rivers. From a distance, a jet ski approaches what looks like debris. Then the camera gets closer. It's a man and 3 dogs, stranded in fast-moving floodwater. The rescuer keeps his distance at first. One wrong move, and the current could flip everything. The dogs panic. The man barely keeps his balance. From certain angles, the scene looks chaotic and unnatural. Bodies half submerged, movement slowed and distorted by the water. For a moment, it's hard to tell where one shape ends and another begins. There is nothing unexplained here, no mystery beneath the surface, just floodwater, exhaustion, and fear. But the reason this clip unsettled so many viewers is how quickly a human figure can lose its clarity in water. In extreme conditions, even a real rescue can look like something far stranger. Number 9. This body camera footage comes from Texas, along the Trinity River. Heavy rain had raised the water level. The current looked calm, but wasn't. An officer approaches the riverbank after reports of someone trapped in the water. At first, nothing is clearly visible, just ripples, debris, movement that doesn't immediately register as human. Then the shape becomes clearer. A person clinging to the edge, barely keeping their head above the surface. They aren't shouting, they aren't waving, they're conserving energy, a known sign of advanced exhaustion. The officer enters the water and grabs hold. From the body cam angle, the person's limbs appear to move out of sync. The current twists the body sideways, making the proportions look wrong for a few seconds. There is no mystery in the final report. The victim was human. The danger came from cold water, fatigue, and hydraulic pull. But the footage is disturbing because of perspective. In fast-moving water, a struggling person can briefly look like something else entirely. Something being carried, not swimming. Number 8. This case never shows a body in the water, and that's what makes it the most disturbing. It began with a radio transmission picked up off the coast of New Zealand, a Mayday call, a man's voice, calm but urgent. He says his vessel is taking on water. Rescue crews respond immediately. Aircraft, boats, hours of searching across open sea. But there's a problem. No vessel matching the description exists in the area. No missing sailors, no distress beacon, no debris. The voice on the recording sounds human, breathing, structured sentences, clear coordinates. Then, silence. Authorities investigated and found nothing. The call was real. The signal was logged, but the source was never identified. Skeptics suggest radio interference, signal overlap, a delayed or misrouted transmission from another region. All plausible explanations. And yet, the case remains unresolved, because somewhere over open water, a call for help was heard, and there was no one there to save. Number 7 in Alaska, this wasn't a rescue call. It was an official observation. An agency monitoring the Chena River recorded something moving beneath the ice. Not debris, not a shadow. A large, dark mass sliding slowly under the frozen surface. The shape appears elongated, undulating, almost reptilian in the way it bends and changes direction beneath the ice sheet. Witnesses described it as massive, far larger than any known animal typically found in that river. The footage spread quickly online and earned a name, the Ice Monster. Skeptics were quick to respond. Some suggest ice flow distortion. Others point to trapped air pockets, shifting sediment, or overlapping shadows created by current and light refraction beneath the ice. No physical evidence was ever recovered. No biological samples. No repeat sightings confirmed by cameras. And yet, the recording remains unresolved, because whatever moved under that ice followed a path, changed speed, and behaved in a way that still resists a simple explanation. Number 6. This footage was recorded on the Han River in Seoul. A fisherman notices something dark moving just below the surface. At first, it looks like floating debris. Then it changes direction. The mass is long, black, smooth along the edges. It moves slowly, deliberately, toward the riverbank. Not thrashing, not drifting with the current. What immediately draws attention is the size. According to witnesses, it appears far larger than any known fish species found in the Han River. Too long to be an otter, too thick to be an eel, and it doesn't surface like a snake. The video spreads rapidly online, fueling speculation. Some viewers claim it resembles a giant reptile. Others suggest a massive catfish, or an optical illusion caused by surface reflection and murky water. Authorities offered no definitive explanation. No follow-up sightings were confirmed. No animal was recovered. Skeptics point out how water distorts scale and movement, especially near shorelines where depth changes suddenly. Still, the clip remains unsettling, because whatever was recorded wasn't rushing, wasn't fleeing, and seemed fully aware of where it was going. Number 5. This video was recorded on the Yangtze River near the Three Gorges area in China. At first, the water looks calm, gray, heavy with sediment. Then a shape appears. A long serpentine form moves just beneath the surface. It bends smoothly, creating a visible wake that stretches far behind it. Eyewitnesses estimated its length at more than 20 meters. Too long, too continuous. The footage quickly went viral. Online, it was labeled the Three Gorges Monster. Some viewers claimed it resembled a massive snake or an unknown aquatic creature moving upstream. Skeptics urged caution. Experts later suggested a far more mundane explanation. A line of large barges or debris moving in sequence combined with perspective compression and river turbulence, creating the illusion of a single living body. No biological evidence was ever found. No sonar confirmation, no follow-up sightings. And yet, the video remains unsettling, because for several uninterrupted seconds, the motion looks unified, as if something long and flexible is actively swimming through the river. Number 4. This footage shows a dark shape cutting through the water at a steady pace. At first, only the surface is visible. Then the detail appears. A dorsal ridge rises above the waterline, sharp, segmented, almost like a row of blades moving in sequence. The silhouette immediately evokes comparisons to ancient legends. Something large, powerful, and submerged just below the surface. The camera struggles to keep focus as the shape advances. There is no splash, no frantic movement. Just a controlled forward motion that suggests mass and momentum. Online, viewers described it as enormous. Some compared it to prehistoric reptiles. Others claimed it resembled a creature straight out of myth. Skeptics urge restraint. They point to floating debris, partially submerged logs, or even waves interacting with an unseen object beneath the surface. Water can exaggerate form. Shadows can align. Perspective can deceive. No official investigation confirmed anything unusual. No biological traces were found. No repeat sightings verified. Still, what unsettles viewers is not what the shape might be, but how deliberately it moves, as if whatever created that silhouette was not drifting, but traveling. Number 3. This footage was captured over the gray waters of the Atlantic, filmed from the air. At first, the ocean looks empty, endless, unbroken. Then the surface ruptures. A massive shape rises briefly from the water. What stands out is the scale. The head alone appears comparable in size to a small fishing vessel. It emerges for only a few seconds, then sinks back beneath the waves with immense force. There is no violent thrashing, no panic, just a controlled ascent, and a sudden disappearance. Viewers immediately questioned what they were seeing. Some claimed it resembled a gigantic marine animal never documented at that size. Others suggested a whale surfacing at an unusual angle, distorted by altitude, distance, and zoom compression from the aircraft. Marine experts note that perspective from the air can drastically alter perceived scale. Waves flatten reference points. Depth cues vanish. A known animal can appear impossibly large for a brief moment. No official follow-up identified the object conclusively. No sonar data. No corroborating sightings. And yet, the clip remains disturbing, because for those few seconds, something rises from the ocean that looks far larger than it should be, and then vanishes as if it was never meant to be seen. Number 2. This footage was recorded in open ocean, far from any visible shoreline. At first, the water appears calm, flat, uneventful. Then the surface begins to change. A near-perfect whirlpool forms, rotating slowly but with visible force. At the center, a massive dark body can be seen turning beneath the water, not breaking the surface, but shaping it. What unsettles viewers is the scale of the disturbance. The turbulence spreads outward, creating circular patterns that extend far beyond the central rotation. From above, the movement looks deliberate, organized, as if something large is rolling or adjusting position below. Speculation followed quickly. Some suggested underwater currents colliding at unusual angles. Others proposed tidal anomalies or the interaction of opposing water masses. Oceanographers point out that whirlpools can form naturally, especially where currents, wind, and depth changes intersect. Perspective and camera height can exaggerate size and speed. Still, no common explanation fully accounts for the apparent mass at the center. No vessel was reported in the area. No known marine animal is documented creating such a wide, stable rotation at the surface. The clip remains disturbing because it suggests movement without emergence, as if something enormous passed just beneath the ocean's skin and chose not to surface. Number 1. This image appears to show a rescue in progress. A man, positioned on a concrete structure, leans forward with his body stretched to the limit. He is gripping the arm of another figure emerging from the water. At first glance, it resembles a routine emergency response, someone in distress, another person trying to pull them to safety. But the details complicate that interpretation. The figure in the water is partially submerged. Its skin appears darkened by mud or water saturation. Long hair clings to the head and shoulders, obscuring facial features. The body's posture is low, heavy, resisting the pull rather than rising with it. There is no visible uniform confirming the man above is a police officer. No badge, no rescue equipment, only bare hands gripping another arm. The water around the submerged figure shows tension. Small ripples radiating outward, as if weight is being dragged rather than lifted. Nothing in this image confirms a siren, a creature, or anything non-human. There is no motion captured beyond a single frozen moment. Lighting, perspective, and water distortion can dramatically alter how a human body appears. And yet, the image unsettles because of one simple detail: the imbalance. One body strains upward, the other seems to pull downward. What happened next is unknown. The photograph ends before the outcome, leaving only the impression that this was not a rescue in control, but a struggle against something heavier than expected beneath the surface.